Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Footy Fantasy Podcast. It was a title decider, or was it? We cannot be so sure. But that is our first topic of the day. We'll be diving into Liverpool versus Man City. But before we go into that, remember to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and you can also find us on any audio podcast, whatever medium you use, we're on there. You can find us Footy Fantasy, which is FOOTIE FANTASY. However, on YouTube, it is Footy 80 Fantasy, which is FOOTIE Fantasy. Follow us, subscribe, please, and share. Comments are welcome. We'll take comments live as we go on. So on the show with me today is Ryan. It's good to see you again, man. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And your regular Idris. Idris, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me again today.
So before we start, I'll just ask you a simple question. Did any of you see the game today?
Yes. Oh, yes.
I'm pretty sure Ryan did.
I couldn't miss that one. Couldn't miss that one.
Not in this world, man.
No,
I was only able to see half of the game, but it was a good game to watch. It was solid.
Stressful one. It was stressful for those with, serious invested interests in it, I guess you could say.
All right. So tell me more. Why was it so serious?
I mean, obviously going into it, the title was so close to the end of the season. There's nothing really separating us and City by that 1 point. We've got the better goal difference. So it was always going to be, almost like a mini cup. Well, not even a mini cup final. I was more nervous for this. I actually forgot we're playing City in the FA Cup next week. That game's not even on my mind. This game to me was, a final. And it's funny, I actually said before the game that I would rather we went all out and tried to win and ended up losing than play for a draw. In hindsight, now that it was a draw, I'll happily take that. I'll take back what I said, because you never know with football. You never know. Anything can happen between now and then. I know everyone keeps saying that, well, not everybody, but some people are saying now that it's City's to lose. It should be, pretty straightforward because of the running with games. But I'm trying to view it from a different perspective, in that we've still got Tottenham. I believe we still got Tottenham, United, and the Merseyside derby to play. Those are all big games. So really and truly, we can't afford to switch off. We have to be so switched on and, put our everything into some of these games. Whereas I know they won't, but City could easily view some of their games and think, well, this should be a bit easier. And when you look back, apart from Tottenham, some of the games that they've dropped points in are not games that you would, associate City with dropping points in. So literally anything can happen. It's football. That's why we love it. Anything can happen between now and then. I still think it's City's to lose, but we'll see. I mean, as far as the game today, we were very lucky, very, very, very lucky. We were discussing just before we started, the way we played today. Historically, we should have got a hiding. We should have been absolutely battered. I've seen us play in games where we have lost 4-0 and 5-0 to City, and we played better in those games than we did today defensively. Someone else pointed it out in the group earlier on. That was probably the worst that I've ever seen Van Dijk play. I don't think he controlled that back line at all. At all. The back line was all over the place. They exploited. They did the homework in that high line. The players that they had were perfect. All three of their forwards are quick, and they so easily exploited that big gap, between the defenders and the keeper. They exploited it so well. The offside trap saved us once with Sterling. Even that was close. I mean, it was offside, but it was very, very tight. We did well to score quick in the second half, and Jota's goal was, very well taken. But they're trying to play out the back. It just didn't work, and we just kept doing it over and over and over again, where and sometimes you just need to, alleviate the pressure and just boot the ball up the pitch. We've got quick players as well. All it takes is one long ball from Trent that a defender misjudges, and you've got Mane or Salah or Jota that could easily exploit, because they play pretty high up as well and rely on Kyle Walker for recovery runs and that. But he's not going to mark all three of them at the same time if that long ball beats them. But again, as I said, lucky to come away with a point. I say we won a point today. We did drop two. We won a point because it could so easily have been 3-4-5-0 City based on that first half performance. But we move. We're still in it. There's still just that one point in it. Who knows what will happen between now and the end of the season.
So, Idris, what do you think?
For me, watching the game, it was just a beauty and a delight to watch, actually, just looking at how the level of which these guys are. And yes, I agree with you, Ryan. The first half, I was like, in my group chat with my friend, I was just like, you guys are supposed to be like 5 goals down. And he was like, get off the group chat because the Chelsea supporter, obviously, right? So it's, but it was like, you watch it and you really do see the tactics that you guys actually came up with, which was just all out offensive, right? And I respect that. Like, as much as I knew it was suicidal, I respect it, because there's a thin line between bravery and stupidity. Let's just say you were brave today.
Can say that again.
If they connected some of those stuff, then that would have been very daft, because it was like, and we were talking about, is it that Pep is not clinical? I don't think it's a clinical issue at this point. I just think like they really do create a lot of chances. They create so many clear-cut chances that and they're just ruthless. They're really they're a ruthless team. I mean, any more ruthlessness, then that will not be a normal team. It's just my opinion. Like, I can't expect them scoring literally every chance that they've created. But I think it's because they have such confidence that they will create these chances that they just keep going at it. It's just, you have to remember, we say Liverpool is a well-oiled machine, right? The City is just, I don't even know if they're just a machine at this point. It's just a template for anything. They're good to go. But for me, it was just beautiful football and 2 different tactics. I really I agree with Ryan. Liverpool won a point today. They were not bad. Liverpool was not bad.
I don't think Liverpool were bad.
No, they were not bad, because they really played. There was a point they played City out of the park. There was a point in the game they were pressing City, and I was just like, man, like, City's actually fully defending at this point, And then all you just needed is one diagonal, and City was not ashamed to play long balls today, which was wild. We have to give Pep some credit. Like, they will just switch up, and these guys would just run at you from the wings. And it was almost like it was just a much better version of Liverpool they were playing, but both of them almost looked very similar. And I don't know, man, like, that was beauty to watch. I mean, I love the fact that there are midfielders in the world that actually pass directly rather than just going side to side.
City have always played long ball.
Really, though?
Yes. No, they've always done. They're very good counter-attack. Yes, they're very good counter-attacking team.
They are good counter-attacking team.
Hold on. The thing is, they don't have that much opportunities to counter-attack teams. But they actually
control.
One of the things City do very well when they come out of corners is De Bruyne turns around and switches the ball over the top. He does it very well. He actually, he's one of the best at doing it. Or sometimes he drops off the like the center backs and turns and switches it over the defense line, and Sterling makes a run behind. They're very good counter attack. It's just that they don't actually get counter attacking opportunities because they control the game so much. Yeah, I think City deserve to win. I agree, but I also think Liverpool deserved a lot of credit. City should have won. I don't think City were clinical today. It's Jesus should have scored. Sterling should have scored. Sterling was a bit unlucky because one was offside and the other one was brilliant defending from Robertson. but they had chances. They had a lot of chances, but then at the same time, Liverpool were dangerous all game.
Liverpool had chances too.
Liverpool had like probably you would say the player of the game was probably that tackle Laporte made, the rock tackle on Jota. That was that was a goal. If he
On a
didn't do
good day, if
that,
you were to
that was a
count,
goal or a red card.
if you were to count, if you were
Yeah,
to count like clear chances, it'd probably
yeah,
like be like a 7-4 game.
yeah. And like Liverpool, so Liverpool were dangerous. I don't think they played well per se up to their standards, but they were not really, really bad. Uh, and they kept City, like Idris said, on their toes for some time. I don't know. I think City win the league. That's the implication I get out of this game. Am I betting it? I'll say it's a 60-40 thing because they're on top.
The
They
the
can
only
drop points.
the only two teams I think City can lose to in terms of dropping points is potentially West Ham and Aston Villa. The rest are just a rollover at this point.
The problem is I don't know. I don't know about the Premier League because
Nah, man.
I'll be very
Nah,
honest.
nah.
Yeah,
City's got. I'm looking at it now. City's got Brighton, Watford, Leeds, Newcastle, and the last two is West Ham and Aston Villa. The only two places I see them dropping points, and probably it's a tie or something weird, is Aston Villa and West Ham. I
Wolves
don't.
away. Wolves away is not an easy game. Wolves away.
Man, they're gonna have to play something that hasn't been seen.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing. Like, what did Crystal Palace play that wasn't hasn't what did they play that hasn't been seen?
Again. No. Maybe we look at it for the culture. We're looking like Patrick Vieira's like new, but like if you remember, he's almost an offshoot of Pep's lineage of coaches, because he did start at City before he was sent out to New York
Red Bulls.
City FC, and
Oh,
it's
the
the
City.
same
Oh, yeah.
Etihad. It was the same Etihad whole thing. His whole coaching badge, everything was under City. He did
That's
the whole
right.
philosophy. Then he now went to France and ended up. Crystal Palace is a different beast. We can talk about that at a different time. He counters open playing teams very easily. He's a unique breed. They've tied too many games for where they are. If you actually look at their stands, I think they're one of the highest draw team in the league.
Oh yeah, and they've lost. They've like dropped points in like the final minute so many
Exactly.
times.
It's almost like 5 minutes
Yeah,
to go.
yeah.
So yeah. It's I would say like comparing Palace to Watford. Watford is good.
No, I'm not saying Watford. I said Wolves.
Wolves.
Wolves
Sorry.
away. No, not Watford. They have Watford at home. I'm not even. That's not a game.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a
think that'll
little
put them-
10-0.
No,
Get the goal
no.
difference up.
Look, the only thing I'm looking at are the away games. I think Liverpool and City win all their home games this season. The games left. I'm not worried about those. What I'm worried about is who are they playing away? Because if you're playing Leeds away, Leeds is another team that can beat City. Because Leeds is. I'm serious. Leeds is one of those.
It's no longer Bielsa. It's Jesse Marsh. What's he going to do? What's he going to think about?
They've actually played better under Jesse Marsh. To be fair, they're not.
To be fair, they're better team now.
Yeah.
They're like,
They were leaking goals. They'd be better on. They'd be worse off under Bielsa
Yeah.
at this moment.
And at this point,
they want to play
they're
football,
like-
and they will get destroyed
Yeah.
if they try and play football against City.
That's right. I think what I'm pointing that out is Leeds
Still think they'll win.
needs points too. They're not gonna be like so open. They need points. So I'm not
That's
saying
true. You forget about the teams that are trying to stay up, because
that's right.
you don't want to play teams that are trying to stay up right now. This is not the time.
Newcastle,
Yeah, you don't want to.
Leeds,
Newcastle, I probably think are just about safe at this point, but they
They're
still
safe,
need
yeah,
to play.
but-
They
and
still
they're
need
home
to play.
games.
Yeah,
They're
they
home
still need
games.
to. They still need to play.
Yeah.
There's no easy game. I don't think. I think on paper there's easy games, but in reality the games aren't easy. I mean, once they start, after one goal goes in, and you're City, it then becomes easy, because City are not the team you want to play once you've gone a goal down. How we managed to come back twice is beyond me. I love how the game was the exact opposite of the one at Anfield, because we scored first and then second, and they equalised on both occasions. But like I said, anything can happen. I think it's 70-30 at the moment, maybe even 75-25 in favour of City right now. It's in their hands. They've got the easier games.
Yeah, they have the easier games. Yeah.
But
Yeah, agree with
you go into any game at this point of the season, taking it lightly, focusing on the next game. You have to focus at this point in the season. You have to focus on what's in front of you and only what's in front of you until you've more or less wrapped up the game. You can start thinking about the next one. But before the match, you don't start thinking of the next Saturday's game when you haven't dealt with Benfica first. When you're 3-1 up, even because there's no aggregate anymore, so that doesn't mean anything. I'm gutted there's no aggregate score.
Yeah, talking about aggregate points, I'm gonna use that as segue straight into my next point. When we made this, we were actually thinking of the next game, and we chose this topic. But it turns out this question has been mini answered. So it was Chelsea had lost 2 games in a row, and at that point we were going, there seems to be a blip here. This team seems to be collapsing, but they bounced back. Kind of bounced back yesterday.
Sanctions, man. Sanctions.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. No, don't bring up politics here, man.
Once I get out of here, I gotta find a way to deflect, So
because what's it called? Kante has to go and fill up the tank.
It's Ramadan.
City boss.
It's
for
Ramadan.
The team boss.
I have to find deflections. It's Ramadan for Kante and sanctions because when we play home, everybody wants to see Ukrainian flag. I'm finding ways to just deflect rubbish. I'm not making any sense.
Own it.
But on actually, they're tactical problems. We're still a work in progress, and I think when we say that, a lot of people really do think Chelsea fans are just bragging. But we are actually a work in progress. But again, when are we never will really a work in progress in Chelsea? So. Do you want to take the comments before I?
Yeah, I actually missed those comments, so I'm going to take them quickly. Yes.
How can he be the title decider when they still have to play Tottenham, Everton, Brighton, Manchester United, and even Newcastle? This season is not over, and both teams will drop points. Yes, but this teams that Olu is mentioning are like that to me. Those are like more of like
read the next one.
Sorry, Newcastle at St. James has not lost since Eddie Howe. Oh my, I never knew that. Took over. So don't underestimate Newcastle. We are not. Oh my God, that's an Arsenal fan.
No, that's a Newcastle fan.
Is he a Newcastle fan?
That's a Newcastle fan.
Oh my God, Seth, we are not. Oh my bad. I just assume anyone that just throws shot like that is just regularly an Arsenal fan. My bad. So, but you know what? I'm looking at Liverpool's path, and we talked about it. It's harder than City. I mean, anyone that watched today's game and watched City in the Champions League, I mean, City's last 5 games, they usually finish strong. They drop their points midway through the season. I don't know. The only 2 teams I see that may counter City is just Villa and West Ham, and they play some weird, disjointed kind of football that could break City's rhythm. That's about it. I'm not saying they will even beat City.
I think we forgot something. I think we forgot the Champions League. The reason why I point that out is it could affect both teams negatively or positively. It all depends on who they get and how the fixtures go. But because the fixtures are not set, so I can't even see what's happening.
What they're having next?
It's who they play and who's home first and all of those things, because those things matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you can rest players in the second leg, or if you can make tweaks for the league.
If you look at Liverpool,
that's the difference.
Next 5 games.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous, isn't it? We've got Benfica, then City, then Everton, I believe. Is it Everton or United?
Yeah, you have City FA Cup semi-final, which you really want. Then you have United. No matter how doggone United is right now.
Then Everton and Tottenham on top of that. And then Valencia or Bayern Munich, whoever wins that one.
Please.
I mean, they would only be by the time they meet Aston Villa.
Please. I know you guys are trying to troll me. It's all right.
No.
The easiest game in Liverpool's schedule is Manchester United.
Come on.
Please, let's move on. Let's talk about
Come
Chelsea, please.
on.
No, please. Let's talk about Chelsea, please. The easiest game is Manchester United. Let's move on to Chelsea, please.
So
Come on, man.
with Chelsea, real quick, I will go tactically, and I have been raising the alarm for a very long time, and I think a lot of people always thought that like Idris is just making noise and stuff. Our highest goal scorers, our highest goal scorer today is Mason Mount from the midfield. Before that, it was all our wing backs and our defenders. So something is wrong, I mean, we can be like, oh, Trent in Liverpool is, and Robertson, and whipping in assists, creating. Salah is scoring, Mane is scoring, Firmino contributes, Jota is scoring. So the guys who are supposed to be in front are scoring, right? Even as bad as we're saying United is, Ronaldo is scoring goals. It's just Maguire just derails everything for everybody, but the guys in front are scoring goals. City, everybody's scoring goals in City. So it's like when you come to Chelsea, we have a problem. Our attackers are not scoring goals, and it didn't start today. It did not start today. I believe this problem started right after Conte left, and we got rid of Cesc Fabregas. That was the beginning of our problem, and we brought in Jorginho. Now, put in mind, I used to be a massive Jorginho basher, right? But I'm not. I'm not any longer. I'm a huge J5 fan right now, based on what he's been able to prove us wrong. But there is a significant tactical deficiency, whether we like it or not. There is a serious, significant tactical deficiency. I was talking about the game today with Liverpool and City, and I kept saying direct. I kept saying transition. I kept saying they were bold, even when we knew this formation or whatever Liverpool was playing was suicidal football. But they were still bold to be like, you know what, man, I'm going for it. And you're like, you're crazy, but I'm going for it. Chelsea will pass side to side till eternity and
But I
pass
think that's a
themselves
factor of the coach being a
into
possession-based
problems.
coach.
Sorry?
The coach likes possession.
Okay, now here's the thing.
Possession-based coach.
But Tuchel himself, we have to look at Tuchel's past work. He's not too far from Klopp. He's really not been too far. When you look at him in Mainz, you look at him in Dortmund, and you look at him in PSG. Chelsea is just where every coach comes to, then look at the characteristics of the players and realize this is what I got to deal with. And deal with it. Then they go into the transfer window. We buy up a lot of players and sell as much as we can to change whatever we have to. But there's certain core players we accommodate. Alonso, Jorginho specifically. He's a good game manager, but there is absolutely no creativity in the middle of Chelsea. There is none, and there's a reason why. Whether it's Tammy Abraham who came through the youth, scored 15 goals, and everybody's like, oh my God, he's not useful, but 15 goals as a young kid, first season, under a shitty coach Lampard. And then we got rid of him. And we've had Gonzalo Higuain under Sarri. Remember, we've had a ton of very reputable strikers come to Chelsea and flop. And the truth about the matter is we've struggled with creative midfielders. And that was since Cesc Fabregas left and Eden Hazard. The year Eden Hazard left, he contributed 50% of our goals in assist and scored the other 50%. Any human being that was watching that season was like, we have a problem if this guy goes.
But wait.
So I'm saying Tuchel has inherited these guys.
But this is where it's baffling, because if what you're saying is that Chelsea is having this issue due to a lack
there's a deficiency of creativity.
Deficiency, as you say, of creative midfielders. The problem I have is looking at that is Chelsea has the tools. Exactly what this comment is saying. Exactly. He's saying Kai Havertz is a creative midfielder.
He's playing 9 right now
he's
because
attack focused. But hold on. Before you let me land a bit and explain what I'm saying. You've got players that can carry the ball. There's two types of creativity. There's creativity in passing. There's creativity in carrying the ball. You have Hudson Odoi. You have Mason Mount. You have Kante, who having Jorginho and Kovacic. Kovacic. No, I'm just saying that even having Kovacic and what's it called, Jorginho and Kante in the team means that Kante and Kovacic can bump forward and push the ball forward. The problem is elsewhere. Because you can't tell me it's a lack of incisive passing.
No, I put it to both of you. You've mentioned all these people.
Yes.
How many assists have they created? This is a very legitimate question.
So who
How
has
many
created all the goals Mr. Mount scores?
aside missing, it's coming from Reece James and Ben Chilwell, Rudiger, and I'm serious. Go back and look at and you. That was when I started raising the alarm. I'm like, guys, we have a problem. And everybody was like, don't worry, we're going to chill titi. I'm like, we have a problem. You guys are, we were really, when we got found out and everything, all you got to do with Chelsea is just bulk up into the middle and then everything goes to the side. So once it goes to the side, we have problems. There's a reason why Kai is played before Lukaku. I don't really think Lukaku is that bad. I think he needs chances, maybe a lot more chances being fed, but it's not coming. And by the time the chances come to Lukaku, there's 3, 4, 5 people physically on him. So the guy is physically fighting. You understand?
Yeah.
Transition is slow.
There's forward. A problem regarding that part. I actually agree. The Lukaku
and
part,
all our so-called creatives,
are
on the wing. So and again, there's a characteristic of a player I'm trying to talk about. Yeah. Where does he or she feel when they receive a ball, or where do they like to send the ball to? I would say sometimes wingers feel very comfortable. For some bizarre reason, they will see a runway on the touchline. They feel comfortable, they can run there, they can cross. There's not as much pressure. The moment they have to join whatever is happening inside, there's a possibility you're going to get hit. There's a possibility you're going to lose possession. There's a possibility you're going to have a transition. And I believe our players are not built to be those guys in the middle, but far built to be on the wing. Hence, again, you have a guy in Jorginho who distributes more to the wing. That's how well he manages the game. So when you have those combinations, whoever plays in that forward 9 or whatever will be miserable. Consistently miserable. They have to be like Kai, that Olu is saying, who's good on the ball, who drops back deep, picks the ball and continues. Up. How many are we going to go through?
I think there's a problem that you guys don't want to admit. As an outsider, I would say that, which is there's actually a tactical issue that the manager refuses to embrace. And it has to go back there because I watched games where Lukaku makes runs. He's giving the ball over the top. He's making the run. Do you know what happens? They give the ball to Mount coming short.
Yeah.
And they play it short.
Yeah.
To fit. And the run is there. If you watch the replay, you will see it. It's there. If you put that ball,
him. Timo Werner that we make fun of.
But that's his game. You're supposed to put the ball over the top for Timo Werner all the time. The only difference is that Timo Werner most of the time is running from the halfway line over the top. Lukaku is running from the box. He wants it over the top, just over the, because he doesn't want the ball to drop. He doesn't want to control it. He wants to hit it one time into the net. Yeah. So this is a Chelsea pity party. There's a lot of creative midfielders in Chelsea. Blame it on your coach.
No.
I have to agree.
No, I have to push back. I have to
agree.
I have to push back because, God, if we have creative midfielders, show me their assist, man. Like, I'm really serious about this stuff.
But when the striker, the main players you have in your team, for example, Timo Werner is not going to score goals, so that means you're not getting assists with him. But when Lukaku is not getting chances because the team is not playing to his strengths, you can't be saying it's not a coaching issue.
I want to go through strikers for you, right? Mm-hmm. And this is Olivier Giroud is prolific.
No, but the coach, this same coach was benching him all the time.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you say. Tuchel is not doing well. The prolific guy.
I'm accepting that. I'm totally accepting that. But there's also an issue here of creativity, and a lot of Chelsea fans will tell you things like ball to feet, just to the striker. Like we don't do that. I see Firmino do the damage, even Jota sometimes for Mane and what's his name and Salah. They know the ball comes, flows. Okay, fine. We have Mr. Captain Timberland boots that can't control the ball and whatever. I get it. But he still needs to be fed consistently. And it honestly started from when we switched our style of play from Sarri. Again, I'm not blaming Sarri, please. Like, he did a decent job when he was there.
I'll be very honest and tell you this, right? I will be very honest. I think that if a coach is not flexible. If there's one thing that Tuchel did not learn from Klopp was flexibility. He has that, especially in Chelsea, because
Every,
this is a team that
every
wants to play the
Chelsea,
same thing they
every
played last
Chelsea
season all the time.
brother. No, you have to remember this again. We are the most notorious club that
Mhm.
fires coaches. We are so we've seen coaches come and try, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is the crap I have." So I revert back. You know what I mean, right,
Yeah.
Ryan? Like they look at Frank Lampard got fired because he looked at players and he thought these players were on his level when he was playing. And that's when he got fired because he was looking at Georgina. What the hell are you doing? That's what people say. He throws players under the bus. And I think it's a different generation. But actually, that's why sometimes good players don't make good coaches. He's taking this guy on that like we're on the same talent level since we're here. Jorginho doesn't do any of that. All you got to do is look at what Madrid did to us. Just run towards Jorginho, move the ball, cross. They made Thiago Silva look like it was Harry Maguire in Champions League. Like, bro, we were like, what just happened? And with obviously Mendy having an off day, but it was very damning, very very damning. And I believe against Southampton, we are not going to really overcome that. It's just a morale booster.
Comparing.
It's a morale booster, but I'm not going to be here and be like, "Whoa, back! I'm going to go to Bernabeu." No, 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 no. We're going to respect ourselves.
I'll be very honest and tell you this truth, man. Tuchel should thank God for sanctions, man. He's one of the people that should be very happy for sanctions because if these sanctions were not happening right now, because what I think is going to happen at the Bernabeu next week, man, without these sanctions, we'll be talking about.
His boss is busy with something else. That's what you're saying.
That's the problem.
busy,
Because right now Chelsea are literally begging him to stay.
like
He's
if his
probably
boss
not getting
wasn't
paid or
busy,
something.
if his boss wasn't busy, he's like, "Yo, what's going on out there? Why am I seeing all these 7 goals in 2 games? Come, let's have a talk." We already knew he's getting fired, right? So it's like,
All right, man. I'll move on now. I want to talk about this because I don't know what happened this week. Leading into what we'll call the
top
new
4.
derby, the trophy derby.
I'll let you and Ryan talk about this because I've been trolling people all over
So,
that page.
Gallagher said that Liverpool versus City is the greatest rivalry in English football.
No.
I said I don't know. Is
No,
it
I don't
recency
think
bias
No.
or something?
I think sometimes pundits just say these things. Jamie Carragher is very much sometimes he's very much emotional. He just says when he feels excited in the moment. He just says things. I love Jamie Carragher to death, but no, I don't think it's a great. If I was to try and make it, get on his wavelength and agree with him, it would be that as far as highest quality, this is probably as high a quality of performance compared to the best of the rest that you're ever going to see when you compare Liverpool and Man City. I mean, I when I saw the question prepared for this segment today, like I went out and looked back at some of the
rivalries,
previous rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chelsea, in some of Chelsea's best seasons, they've had ridiculously high level seasons where they finish getting 90 points. I mean, Arsenal, obviously, their invincible seasons, they finished with 90 points. I didn't realize this. I had to go way back. In 97, 98, Arsenal won the league, I believe, with 78 points. United came second with 77. In 98, 99, United won the league with 79 points and Arsenal had 78. I mean, obviously the number is a lot lower. The quality that they played back then was still high. I think the level, obviously, like any generation, you couldn't compare Pele's generation to this generation and say, that generation would destroy. No, you can't say, because there's so many different elements that would be different. As far as a Premiership rivalry, I will forever say, and not for nostalgia reasons or anything like that, I will still say the most heated rivalry will still always be Arsenal and Man United for me. And that's not nostalgia speaking. That's just going based off the number of trophies that they won. The playing field was a lot more like that was pre-money getting pumped into football era of the Premier League. As far as the biggest rivalry in English football, regardless of how well they're playing, it will always be Manchester United, Liverpool for me, just in England, not just the Premier League, just in England, it will always be Manchester United and Liverpool. The Premier League era, I'll always say Arsenal and Man United, just because of not just the level of football both teams played was amazing. The animosity and hatred between the players was crazy. The managers and the little mind games and crazy. I mean, Klopp and Guardiola, undoubtedly ridiculous managers, unbelievable, but they're always friendly. They don't have any spats or anything like that. They're so friendly. Whether it's mind games as well, there's a mutual respect. Arsene Wenger and Alex Ferguson, I think, hated each other. Same, you could say the same with Mourinho and Alex Ferguson. So it was
Mourinho
and Wenger. Yeah, exactly. So to say, on impulse that it's the best. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Man City and Liverpool, to me, have given some of the greatest team performances over a league season that the league will ever see. Up there with Chelsea back then, but when Mourinho first came, and was it his first season or his second season? Was it his first season?
Yeah, his
first that is one of the all-time great Premier League performances. But they blew the best of the rest out the water. It wasn't even a competition. The same way Liverpool did when they won the Prem, blew everyone out the water. But the 2 years, the year Liverpool came second with 97 and City had 98. I mean, come on, that is those are levels.
Yeah, those
that is ridiculous. That is unbelievably high levels. But to say because of that, it's the greatest rivalry. I think we're seeing two of the highest quality teams England had ever produced at one time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
In that aspect, if you're trying to argue in that aspect, which is not what Carragher, I don't think so. I think he was just saying it's just the greatest rap. No, I don't think that's the case. If you talk about the highest level quality football in a given season or in a given time, then yes, but that doesn't mean it's the greatest rivalry in football. No, far from it.
Like he says, Facebook user. For some reason, Facebook doesn't. The names don't pull up from Facebook. Maybe they are privacy settings. He goes, Man United and Arsenal never played at the level of Liverpool and City. Liverpool versus City has become the equivalent of El Clasico between 2010 and 2020. Okay.
I mean, I agree. If I could just challenge, I can agree as far as the quality. They're showing like everyone. I think everyone in the group pretty much agrees. Like when we watch, I mean, maybe I don't see it because I'm a Liverpool fan, and again, I'm emotionally invested. And when you guys were saying Liverpool didn't play that bad today, I thought we would. Sorry, dog shit. We were terrible. I thought we were crap.
I think you expected better.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm emotionally invested. So I've got goggles on when I watch the game. I'm expecting more for my team. Whereas a neutral will see things that I won't notice because again I'm shouting and everything. So as far as the levels, I agree that the levels are probably higher. I think the levels are higher than they are higher than in 97, 98. But if we're talking of a rivalry, I don't think it's a greater rivalry. It's a closer matchup.
It is you're shaking your head.
Go on, sorry, let me not cut you off.
Every new decade or year that comes in, everybody's very they remember that moment. It's like
nostalgia,
But like as we were talking, I'm remembering what Arsenal, Thierry Henry, and Co did, and I'm like, wait a second, man, like that. Because I don't know. But if you remember back in the day, like we would like go to like viewing centers to go like watch it. Like you like just got out of like high school and you like sneak out to go watch like the Premier League games like in the evening. And I would remember like how like in awe, like I was not an Arsenal fan, just in awe of what they were doing. And how I knew United, like class of 92, whatever, when they were at their prime, how good those guys were and still chasing Arsenal when Arsenal like and just how long that rivalry lasted. Like 5, 6, 7 years, you know what I mean? And we were still talking about Liverpool, who used to be the king, and when they come and play against United, even when they were struggling with finances around that time, trying to get like the board in order, they would still put up a very good shift, like a massive shift. Like you'd be like, man, this wasn't.
I think that period,
you know what I mean? Like
during that Arsenal, sorry to cut you off, during that Arsenal Man United rivalry, Liverpool came and beat United 3 times in a row in Old Trafford.
Exactly. And I could remember the quality, like pure passion these guys were playing with. They didn't have the quality of players that United and Arsenal had at that time, but pure passion. So now we're looking at City and style of football. And this is where I don't want to be an ideologue, right? some people see this style of football and they just believe this is the purest way of playing and this is the top level, whatever. Well, for me as a Chelsea fan, I could really care less because I can remember the best time in our season, Bori Chelsea, you guys used to say. I would remember after a game, the other fans would be screaming Bori Chelsea, and we'd be like, never in doubt. Like that was what we would say, Chelsea, never in doubt. Like everybody would be like, oh, Chelsea's on the ropes, never in doubt. Like we knew what was going to happen. We just needed a chance and a goal. So, but when people talk about quality, rivalry and stuff, I don't know, man. Like I still think the greatest rivalry was to be between United and Liverpool. The level of play, I honestly wouldn't say just because of what I watched today. It's much better. Yes, sports has become much finer, much quality, but
would you say overall or in the Premier League era? Because overall in England, I would agree. In the Premier League era, if we're just talking about the Prem,
just the Prem,
personally, I would say Arsenal. If we're just talking of the Prem, if we're talking English,
he said English football.
English football is Liverpool.
He said in English football.
No. So English football didn't start in the last 5 years. So I'm sorry.
Because that's the problem. If I try to be honest, in my own view, sorry to cut you off, but like you said, English football didn't start in the last 5 years. Everton, Liverpool of the 80s was one heck of a rivalry. True. And people always underrate that Everton team because they didn't win as much as they could have.
Do you remember Blackburn Rovers too as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Blackburn Rovers was just a very short. It wasn't. Yeah. It didn't live long enough to.
It didn't live long. It was like 2-3 years.
Because there's a rivalry. I think that could have also been that should be in this discussion, but because it wasn't as much a league rivalry, it was more. What's it called? But no, it was actually a league and cup rivalry. The Liverpool-Chelsea rivalry.
Yeah.
Mourinho and Benitez was one. Like I remember the rivalry because when I was thinking about rivalries about hate, these guys really wanted to kill each other. I remember that. This was another set of guys that really wanted to kill each other. Like they really mean it. I'll take a quick comment from. He goes. Lumidele Raji says, "There is no rivalry if it is not heated. It's just respect. Everton versus Liverpool is a bigger rivalry than Man City, but the rivalry." The biggest rivalry is just Man United versus Arsenal or Leeds versus Man United.
Leeds United. Remember Alan Smith, Ferdinand hadn't even joined. It was crazy too back then.
I think, let me be honest, right? I think the thing with rivalries, like I want to go back to this comment because this guy pointed out something big. I think that we can actually all agree on this. He goes, this has become the equivalent of the El Clasico between 2010 and 2020. If this was Man United, Liverpool, Man United, having these kind of past 5 seasons, this wouldn't be a question.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
It wouldn't be a question.
100%.
The problem is that whether we like it or not, Man City have not built up enough history. This fixture has not been played long enough.
Yeah.
It's too new. El Clasico, Spain, because of their politics or whatever, and then the two teams being the biggest for all these years, for a whole 90 years. That's part of the issue.
But you know what?
If this goes on for another 10, 20 years, this would be the biggest rivalry. If these two teams do this for another 10, 20 years, this would be the biggest rivalry.
Look at the thing. Sorry, Idris. Just a quick one, because the thing between the city of Liverpool and the city of Manchester City's always been there, but Manchester City, Liverpool has never been, like, nobody cares. Like, I don't have banter with City fans. I don't know any City fans. They exist, allegedly, but I don't know who they are, I met someone when I was in America that just started following football because they just checked who the best team was at the time. That is my team, But the Liverpool United rivalry has always been there, whether it's geography, politics, everything, culturally. That is a rivalry in itself, but City never, even though City is in Manchester, they didn't factor into the equation. The same way Everton is in Liverpool, they don't factor into United fans. They don't think they're not on United fans' minds or rate. Well, maybe the other day.
Maybe United fans, because then we can't take away the derbies, right? The derbies are usually very, very important because the derby for you, the Merseyside derby with like Everton is massive, and a lot of people will be like, I never rated Everton as anything that great, right? And what when you came in, I was about to just say, derbies because I remember the Basque derby. Everybody talks about a classic, right? And let's be very honest, it's commercially viable. That's why some people think City Liverpool now. Some of us say the big Liverpool United. Basque rivalry, Barca versus Bilbao. It's death. Like I don't know what's going on in there, but like it's like
Nah, it's not Barcelona, Real Madrid. Nah, it's not. The
nah, you know what I
political
mean?
implications of Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Look,
It's
it's
huge.
it's like
It's huge.
if you had said
They have
Arsenal Tottenham, right? It's almost like in the history, the king specifically blocked Di Stefano from going to Barcelona.
but it was not. But that's the thing I'm trying to say to you.
Yeah,
It was not just Barcelona. It was the
yeah,
Basque region.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So
It's
Barcelona
like
is the big team from the Basque region.
it's
But
like
what
saying
people are missing,
Liverpool. Like it's the same reason why Man United, Man City, and L- Man United,
Liverpool.
Liverpool are
Yeah,
not the
exactly.
same because Basque Espanyol has never been winning.
True.
So
But when
Man United
Espanyol plays,
stood
I
for
agree
like
with
the
you.
city. Liverpool stood for their city. But the
That's true.
political implications of
Yeah.
those two teams. It's been like 90 years of. I'm serious. If these two people had a chance, they'd go to war.
Yeah, animosity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see,
So-
that's the thing. If you're just talking big games, I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. When you go to other countries, I'm sure if you go to Morocco or Tunisia or
Raja
Argentina,
Casablanca versus
There you go.
Zamalek.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're just talking, oh, it's just a big derby because of
Exactly.
the fans hate each other.
River
Then you
played.
can
Oh,
pull
I
out
was
any
gonna say,
random.
River
You can
Plate
just pull out
and
any
Boca
random
Yeah,
country. You can
River
go to
played Boca,
Serbia
like
and find
yeah.
two Belgrade teams that want to kill each other and. So it depends what you're talking. If you're looking for good football, heated, rivalry, all that kind of stuff, you have to balance everything out.
It's never been about good football.
Oh no, yeah, no,
It's never
exactly,
been about good football.
exactly,
No.
exactly.
It's never been like those Brazilian derbies where they come out, or those the Istanbul derby.
Santos
Yeah,
versus
Turkey, places like
Yeah,
that.
like
The football's the last thing on
no one's thinking
anyone's mind.
about
Yeah,
that.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
death.
And
It's life or
sometimes,
death.
and the weird thing about derbies is sometimes one team is always like when I mean always winning. It's like one team is the champion, but it just
and
can't
the other
beat
one's
that
just
local team.
yeah.
It just can't beat these guys,
That's it. Exactly. We can play crap all season. This is our only game of the season. Basically, we don't care how we play.
All right. Quickly, we are about to round up. We don't have so much time left, so we have to take this quickly. I don't think there's too much talk here, to be honest.
We're not going to talk about
Come in. Here we
Arsenal.
go. Here we go.
We're not going to talk about Arsenal. My whole
Like,
2
wait,
weeks,
what's there to
my
talk
whole
about?
2
What's
weeks
there to
of
talk about?
work on the group, on the Facebook group. We're not going to talk about this.
We're about to get
Ken Cross
cancelled.
is not
They're
support
about to
us.
cancel us.
Man, it's too early. It's too early. It's too early. I don't want to count. Look. Okay, I'll take this my own quick.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
I don't want to count Arsenal out. I don't want to count Spurs in. They might have momentum, but these two teams have had the same kind of issues all season. They flat out to the same. They're just a little bit better than Man United and Wolves. That's just what I think. Because what I've seen with these two teams is when you start thinking they're good. Come on, Spurs just came out of losing how many games in January or February?
A lot.
Yeah. So like these two teams can collapse at any time. I don't know why, but there's something about two of them. It's just that right now, yeah, Spurs has momentum. Since they say who has momentum for top four, now yeah, I'll say Spurs.
But
Yeah.
but we can't take away one has a coach, one has an understudy. We can't take that away. I
Can
mean,
we still-
Conte. I've never seen Conte.
Can we still call Arteta an understudy at this stage?
Bruh, I don't even want to. I can't even mention what I've been writing on the Facebook when it comes to trust the process because I've been posting a lot of rubbish out there. But if we look at the caliber of the coach, I have never seen Antonio Conte humbled my entire life. It's like seeing Conte. The only comparison is literally seeing Ancelotti in Everton.
Oh my
Benitez
God.
in Everton. Like these guys are humbled. Like I have never been about this broke life, and I'm in this broke team, and I have to manage whatever is going on. Conte was shocked. Like we have a problem. This guy was shocked. So, but, watching Arsenal, there's still a work in progress. From the dressing room to the boys that they have on the pitch, they've spent money. But when you look at Tottenham, yes, Levy is very cheap. It's an annoying cheap. But Antonio Conte has found a way in January to just quickly get some people that have some sense, right? I'm not counting Arsenal out, but I would say Tottenham has a much better chance. I remember the midway through the season, I had put Manchester United as the one that's going to end up there. But I really don't know what's going on in Manchester United. As long as they can't get rid of Maguire, that team is not going to make it to top four. That's
It's
how
big. It's bigger than Maguire, but Man United. Please, we're talking about top four. Please.
Bro, I know you say it's bigger than Maguire, but
No, you
bro,
can't be talking about people that are talking about Conference League. We're talking of top four. Like I said, I know you're gonna troll me today, but
I'm not
please,
trying to.
please,
I'm just thinking.
stay
I
on,
don't
stay
know.
on
I
topic.
actually picked. If I think Ayo did the predictions, I picked United. I remember EJ.
We all did.
Yeah, I
We
picked
all did.
United.
I think the team deceived everybody. It was fine. We're still healing. It will take time.
I think Ryan, you're next on the Arsenal top.
On the Spurs Arsenal. Obviously, if it's who has the momentum is obvious. I mean, Tottenham have the momentum. But like you said, they are Tottenham. At any point, they could decide. I mean, their manager won Manager of the Month and then got sacked the following month. I mean, where on earth does that happen? How is that even possible? You win Manager of the Month, and not that you get sacked the next season. That's almost crazier than winning the league and then getting relegated 3 years later. And you won Manager of the Month and then you got sacked the following month for being as crap as you were good. I mean, Tottenham are playing good football at the minute. I don't see them. So, I mean, who do they have? They play us as well. I don't know who else they play, really. I don't check the
I
fixtures.
think they play Man United.
Do they play United?
You're
I
talking
believe
about
so.
you're talking
Let me
about
pull it
Tottenham.
up.
Tottenham, yeah. Who's
Yeah.
Tottenham got?
Tottenham's got. Just give me a moment. Tottenham's got Brighton next, Brentford, Leicester City, then Liverpool, then Arsenal.
Then Arsenal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not an easy running, but Tottenham playing well. They're playing good football. That front three, Harry Kane has decided to, start playing football again. Son is firing on all cylinders. He's the second highest goal scorer in the league now, out of nowhere.
I know.
Out of nowhere after that hat trick yesterday. That Kulusevski, I think, has gone under the radar as the buy of the January January window.
Right.
He is unbelievable.
Right.
He is.
That's right.
I didn't know anything about the guy. He didn't even start for Sweden in the Euros, did he? Unbelievable baller.
I don't even know who that guy is, man.
I don't know.
I know. I just know he's a Swedish guy with a Eastern European name, but the guy is he is a top quality right side. How he's gone, nobody else tried to pick. I mean, I don't know if he was linked with anybody else, but the guy can play. Every Tottenham game I've seen since he signed, he's been involved in one of the goals. I think he gets he's averaging like an assist at least a game. So I think Son and Kane have been playing better since he's come in the team. What's the other one? Bentancur. Is it Bentancur?
Yeah.
He's been. I don't know what position he plays, but he's been playing well for them as well. So, I mean, again, they are still Tottenham, and they can still Spurs up.
Bentancur has been playing remarkable. I didn't even know he was in Tottenham because he was remarkable in Juventus before.
I'd never noticed him play. I never noticed him play. I only know his name from FIFA.
Juventus, I went and followed CR. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, Bentancur is in Tottenham. And there's this kid they got from, I can't even remember where they got it from, Emerson. I think Tottenham has found a balance of just not being too erratic defensively going forward. And I think that's why we're seeing the best out of Kane and Son.
Yeah.
I think it's the thing with having good managers.
True.
You find balance quick.
Yeah,
they don't need 3 years or 4 years to. By the time they're there, 2 or 3 years, you see their work.
I do think Arsenal. I think Arsenal at the moment they need to just look at who's in the team now and who they plan on building it around long term. I mean, the keeper's fine. I think they've missed Tomiyasu. I think when he joined Arsenal, the defense looked a lot stronger. Was he right back? Is he right back, Tomiyasu?
Yes.
Yeah. What's his name? What's the centre back they bought? Ben White. Ben White. He's a decent defender. I don't know how much I think they paid a lot for him, but he's still a decent defender. 50. It's a lot. But English premiums and all that. So there you go. Nuno Tavares, terrible. I think he's awful defender. So they need a new left back. Obviously you've got Saka long term. Martinelli, baller. tore Trent's hamstrings the other week. The guy is crazy good. You know, he's only going to get better. Odegaard and Emil Smith-Rowe, brilliant. Partey on his day, when Partey decides to show shades of his Atletico Madrid days, another really good player. Lacazette, I think Lacazette is just.
I think Partey's just been having injury problems.
Yeah, he's always seems to be injured and getting injured, and you know.
Is this? I think this is his first full season, right?
Season, yeah.
I
think so.
No, second.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yes, first.
Did he come in January?
Yeah.
Did he come in January?
Yeah.
Last January. Yeah. So it's his first full season. So you're right. Yeah, his first.
Yeah,
full
I realized a lot of players that come into the Premier League, if they were very established in Serie A or La Liga, they really struggle, especially those midfielders. Like with the pace, they overexert themselves, and then you start seeing injury issues because they're quite tactical in those. They're not very technical, like very tactical.
No, he came in. He came in the summer.
Oh, did he come in the summer?
Yeah, he came in
the summer.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why I thought he came in January.
Same here. But he's always had injuries.
He played over 20 league games last season. There was no way he came.
Oh, okay.
There's no way he came in January and played 24.
He's always had injuries, though.
Yeah. Then he also left. I think he also left.
Okay.
He left Atletico almost on a free. Like basically, his contract was running out.
Right.
Yeah. He came in the.
Yeah. No, because Partey, honestly, I can't remember what game it was I watched recently of them. What game was it? But he played really, really well. He was just so composed and he looked like the Thomas Partey that made Atletico want to sign him. Just strong and, you know, making amazing passes, breaking up the play, everything you'd expect. But I think there's just no cohesion. There's not enough cohesion in that team. They need.
I think that was the Aston Villa game. I think he was good in the Aston Villa Aston Villa and Leicester games. The Aston Villa game in particular, I watched him. He was good. It was good.
But Lacazette, you're not going to be. You're not winning anything with Lacazette up front for you. And I feel for him because I'll give it to him. The guy actually tries. He puts his all in, but he's not finishing.
I want to say that whoever wins it, though, you know, even if Lacazette, you know, they have to replace Lacazette or whatever. Whoever takes top 4, especially with Arteta, because people will keep casting doubts. I think Arteta especially leaves with a lot of credit. The weird thing about it is that's the thing about life is if Arteta takes top 4, it's better for him than if as in like he has more to lose getting 5th. People will give Conte the benefit of doubt. He came mid-season and all of that. So if Arteta gets 5th, I'm just saying in case, he still comes out with a lot of credit because I wouldn't lie, Arsenal are also a really, really serious work in progress.
They're working. They're serious work in progress.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
It's because they don't have a striker. Like
Eddie Nketiah. The fact that Eddie Nketiah, I mean, let's be honest, Eddie Nketiah.
No.
Eddie Nketiah is like, you know, you expect someone like Eddie Nketiah to be playing Championship or at best a team that might go up and down, and he'll probably get quite a few goals. There's certain players that are good, but unfortunately, you just don't see them play. And I was discussing this with my brother before. The likes of like Timu Pukki are not going to go and smash it if they joined, you know, Man City or Liverpool or Arsenal. They're not going to suddenly become unreal strikers. But when they're playing for teams like Norwich, they will get you about 9-10 goals.
That's right.
A season. They will just get you goals just for the sake of it. Not going to be the most important goals, but they will score. But that doesn't make them, you know, elite.
That's right.
Elite strikers. And that's just, the sad thing. What's his name? Mitrovic, Championship legend. He's been in the Prem. He's played in the Prem 3 seasons. You get maybe 2 goals. They just can't. They just can't hack it. Some players just not the level for them.
I think if you're good, if you're a really good footballer, you should have already been in Premier League in your early 20s.
Oh yeah.
There are very few people that bloom late.
Very few.
Then even those guys,
very few. Yeah.
Even those that bloom late, you would notice that it's not that they were in the Championship. They were actually in the Premier League or like a top league, and they didn't crack it. They went down and they bounced back, like a Grealish or those kind of guys. Or they were in the team that were down and came up with the team.
There's only like 2 examples I can think of that started the Prem late and did well. Kevin Phillips and Ricky Lambert. Those are the only two that
No,
spring to mind.
Jimmy Vardy.
No,
Vardy.
Kevin Phillips was what, 30 when he came. Vardy was about 26, so it was a bit late. But
Yeah.
Ricky
Oh,
Lambert
okay, I
was.
see what you're
They were
saying.
both. They were
Like
both
age
over
of
30.
age.
Yeah, they were both in the 30s.
Ricky Lambert was old too.
Ricky
that's
Lambert
right.
was in his 30s.
Yeah.
Kevin Phillips coming with the top goal scorer at 30 in the Prem from Sunderland. So, you know, it's not many people can do it. Vardy
Not
is just,
many.
you know, Vardy's a
That's
freak of
true.
nature when it comes to that. Is a very late start.
Also, strikers are like I think the game has changed so much that strikers are very far and few in between, man. Like
True, clinical strikers.
Like, clinical strikers, man. Like Benzema is
I
35.
think it's not that strikers are few and
See,
far
I
between.
actually think
It's
teams
think
don't
they're
focus.
not
I think
play.
teams are focused. There's not an
5 years.
emphasis on the striker
teams do
position
not.
anymore.
Yeah, they don't train that kind of striker anymore.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot
team
more.
play.
There's a lot more Kylian Mbappe's than a Lewandowski now.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get because even like you know I'll do a what's it called Sunday League here. My team, for example, our best players, unreal players, very good. And even in some of the other teams we play against, some of the players you find that they're always wing forwards, wide forwards coming in. Our two best players are wide forwards. You want to give them a free role to run around. The guy we're trying to train to be a striker, he also wants to play wide forward because that's what he's good at. He's only playing that because of those two guys.
Characteristic, it's in the mind. I feel comfortable here. I feel receiving the ball.
I can see more.
Here.
I can see more.
You understand what I'm trying to
But
say?
you also
I
have
can
to
see a lot
understand
more.
that they would go away. Like these three kids I'm talking about, they would go away and play college soccer. Because two of them just finished. One is still playing college soccer. So they would go away and play, and they would play how their coach wants them to play. You know, and the same way you're thinking, they'd be molded to be wide guys. They're both big, like two of them are big, one of them is small. But the way they're being trained, dribble, cut and shoot.
Zaza, it's also the way we play today. Like think about it again. You said there are fewer Lewandowski kind of players. The kids feel more comfortable. Maybe it's the way the build-up comes. You know what I mean? You also picked on something that you said, we'll get the ball. Lukaku is going for a run, then we'll play short to Mount. If you're a kid, 14, 15, and you're not receiving the ball, you're not even like fully developed to have a discipline to remain in a spot, right? You're going to go where you feel like you're going to receive the ball and where you're comfortable. And if you keep doing that from 14, 15, 16, you 15, you understand, all the way, your sense of approaching the goal, your orientation changes or is developed on that style of play because it's a build of play, take it to the wide. But do you remember back in the day when we used to play a striker and a supporting striker? Yeah. 2 strikers up forward. People think that thing is weird today.
Because definitely. We have 4-4-2s and things like that.
You remember that? Like, people think it's weird today. Like when we were playing, we were very comfortable. If you're a left foot player, you knew you had a role in the midfield to play. You go out wide, you bring the ball, you cross it in. You find the guy in the middle. Today, any kid in the last 10 years who's forward thinks that they're going to score a goal and they have to run. They don't cross. They don't pass. They score it in. That's how far they're going to go. Like it's such a so when you even bring those pookies and stuff into the Premier League right now, because the way the game is being played, I don't think they will thrive. And I'm seeing this, like, I don't know, man, like characteristic of a player and the tactical genius of the coach matters. Lewandowski can come to the Premier League and struggle.
I call this the age of the hybrids. If you start looking at the best players, start looking at them, even the not the older ones, the ones in their prime and the ones just underneath them, the ones bubbling under, they're all hybrids. Foden, he's neither a midfielder or a striker.
Yeah. Is he a winger? Is he in the middle? Yeah.
Sterling, Mane, Salah, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva. These guys are all hybrids. It's almost like even Conte is a hybrid. He's
a hybrid, yeah. Mason Mount.
What's his name? Trent. They're all hybrids. All these guys are busy because if you really want to look at old football, they're not really.
Could you imagine Alan Shearer dropping as deep as Harry Kane ever?
Never.
Like exactly Harry Kane.
Talent.
Harry Kane is busy coming back to play Paul Scholes.
He spends more time by the centre circle. That's where Harry Kane spends most of the game, on the centre circle. But he'll still get you 20 goals a season.
Yep.
I mean, the only guy I could think that would drop that deep was what's his name, Cantona, but that was because that was his style. That was his style, like
he
but
dribbled. He liked to
Yeah.
dribble and take people.
yeah,
on.
this is the top 9 coming back to.
Yeah.
So I think football has really changed.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think we're going to wrap it up quickly. But before we go, we are going to go on to kudos and donkey of the week. So, who has any kudos? I think we all have. I think this is going to be a unanimous donkey this week. But does anybody have any kudos?
Kudos.
Nobody was outstanding.
Yeah.
Is there anything outside football specifically that would say no outside
I,
pitch, but within
I
football?
have one. Lampard. I have to give it to Lampard.
Come on, that guy's been a donkey for a while.
Yeah, but like if you've been a donkey for a while, at least once you can be. I mean, like, because he's kind of like. He's
a giant. He's a giant killer. That's all he is. He's gonna revert back next game. Just wait.
Oh. Well, okay, let him at least for this week, because one, nobody gave him a chance. 2, then Burnley lost. So I was like, he won 6 points this week.
Sean Dyche, what he said,
Yeah,
it's like,
true.
he trolled himself. That didn't age well, man.
Yeah, it didn't age well at all. So
Yeah.
kudos to Norwich for humbling Sean Dyche.
Yeah, kudos to Norwich as well. That's
Yeah,
true.
there you go. Kudos to
Yeah,
Norwich.
so, yeah, you got some few kudos going.
I know.
Yeah, and then of course also that means it won't be a unanimous donkey because that's true.
Who was your
John
donkey?
Dyke
You
was a
never know.
donkey.
Who?
John Dyke was a donkey this week.
You
John
really
Dyke was a donkey, yeah.
True. That didn't age well at all.
That
Who
didn't age well
did
at
you have in
all.
mind initially?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
That was not
was-
good.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Wait, if Ronaldo breaks my phone, I'm asking for a new one, man. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not fretting about.
But if
it.
you
Yeah, because remember,
if
he
you
also
see-
hit
did
your
you see
hand
the
a bit.
video,
Your
what
hand got
happened?
slapped a little
Yeah.
bit as well, so it hurt. You had to go
Yeah.
for surgery on your hand. So
Oh, God, man.
God.
you can't go to court with that Benzema wrap on your hand.
Oh my god.
But if you really see what happened, it was really not nice because
Was it a kid as well? Or was
it was
I
a
don't
kid,
know,
and I don't even think
I don't think he knew. I don't think he
it
knew.
was. It was just almost like because he bent down.
Yeah, he was
looking at his
bent
neck,
down,
he
he was
stood
just
up and just smacked
irritated,
it.
and yeah.
So I think they
don't
were
think
laughing
he
at
knew.
him, and then the first person he just smacked him,
Yeah.
and he just.
Because I'd only see like a clip right on the end.
Yeah.
I could see Ronaldo. I couldn't really see. I
Yeah,
just
there
saw
was
someone like
somebody-
that.
I saw
Looked like
another
someone just
clip.
minding the business, you know?
Yeah, he just smacked one
Yeah,
person.
that's not right.
I don't know if maybe it was. Maybe
And
it
then
was
to add insult to injury, he's telling him he can come and watch a match at Old Trafford. That would make him 10 times worse. Just ruin the poor guy's day.
I would be like, nah.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
buy
good.
me a new
I'm
phone,
good.
You
man.
know
I'm
what?
good.
I-
Thanks
I-
for the apology.
You know you're getting jumped when you get there, man. Yes,
Oh,
you know.
honestly.
Now you can't leave,
Yeah.
right?
That
It's-
actually, Man United is a donkey as well this week. It's
Yeah, that was.
Bro, man, I want to ask one
a poor
question
game.
before you wrap
Yeah.
it up. Why can't they sub Harry Maguire? I want to know because I know in Chelsea we're so toxic. The coach will sub him. Like,
Um,
what is he not
no,
subbing
regarding
him?
subbing Maguire, right? There's two things that happens. Oh, hold on. Comments came in. Football in recent times has gotten rid of specialists for generalists. Exactly what we're saying.
Yeah,
The strikers, expected to drop deep and press high. Keepers expected to play with their feet. Defenders
True.
expected to
True.
pass. Defensive
True.
midfielders are expected to be great passers and not just tacklers.
tackles. Yeah,
This is right.
True.
It's not
True.
that this wasn't strange. Like, for example, I mentioned Cantona. There was also people like Franz Beckenbauer in the 70s who were
Yeah, but they
defensive
were unique.
midfielders that could play the ball.
They were
Yeah,
very
Ronaldo
Ronaldo
unique.
come and play
Matos,
out from the back. Yeah,
yeah.
shoots
They were
every. Yeah.
unique.
Lothar Matos was
Yeah,
one of the
but
best
those-
players in the World Cup, and he was a defensive
But
midfielder.
those were unique human beings.
Yeah, they were kind of unique. Now there's
Yeah,
a
now
lot
it's
more
like
of
this
these
is the
guys
norm.
that can do so many things.
Yeah,
you know.
this is the norm. It's like
Yeah, that's more of the norm. But talking about Maguire, if there's one thing you have to give Maguire credit for, it's his durability. Since Maguire has come to Man United, he's always available. He's almost always available.
That's the problem, though.
No,
Sometimes
but no,
somebody-
that's the problem. You
What? Someone
cannot.
needs to roll his ankle in training, man. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
He's
but
always
hold on.
available doesn't mean he has to play.
No, but
Barkley
hold
is
on.
available in Chelsea.
If
doesn't
you have
to
a
play.
team of
Timo
four
Werner was
centre backs,
available. We have
no,
to tell him he
hold
has
on.
to.
Listen, if you have a team of four centre backs, right, and one of them is Bailey, who is not necessarily that great, but doesn't complement well with depends. You have to play him with certain people to complement. He's number one. That one is also almost always injured. Then you have Varane, always injured. Then you have Lindelof. Apart from that, you're going to be playing Axel and those guys. And then you have to remember that we're talking about this very season. This is the season when the taking away the durability part, the form part of Maguire is this season, and those guys haven't always been available this season either. So it's a case of sometimes where, because what's it called, you don't have a choice because this guy has been subbed. What's his name? Ragnick subbed him, but then Varane got injured, and then Varane is injured again.
Jeez, man, sorry.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Where so it's just terrible. And then regarding his form in general, I would just say for Maguire is in a weird place where I think he plays better in a back three.
Yeah,
than in a back
four,
two.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to figure that.
But if
we
you're
had an
gonna
issue
play-
in Chelsea.
Yeah,
We had an issue in Chelsea trying to figure out
exactly.
like why
With
these guys so
Rudiger.
crap.
Yeah,
Rudiger is amazing. He's getting better now with back four because in our last wins, it's back four we played, and it's because of Thiago Silva. When we bought David Luiz, I remember somebody saying you bought the wrong Brazilian, and I did not understand what they were saying then.
Yeah.
Because when we bought David Luiz and he went to PSG, then went and picked him again, and someone's like, "Yeah, you guys got the wrong Brazilian. Go back and pick Silva. Return David Luiz to PSG." Now that Silva is here, I'm like, whoa. Rudiger is able to play better. But that being said, Maguire is responsible for at least 30% of your goals considered this season.
Nah, that's not true. But I think he's bad. I'm not trying to make a defense of Maguire, but I think the bigger problems are not him. The bigger issues with the issues with him being in the team and not having a fast midfielder and the reliable fast. Because Varane is fast, but he's not that fast to cover Maguire. You don't have any fast cover, no cover. That's one problem. But there are other issues, man. There are other issues because, like the goal that was considered yesterday, he could have, Fred could have given the ball to Wan-Bissaka. He gave it to the guy under pressure, Matic. Matic could have had a better touch. He made a bad touch. Maguire just was actually standing in the right place. The ball hit him at the wrong spot.
But
if he was hitting him, it was a good blow.
Bro, he's been hitting him in wrong spots.
No, but that is not done. That's
like,
not the point.
Somebody did a compilation of Maguire, and I almost had a heart attack. I'm like, why is this guy still in this team? like there's so many of that. Anyway, but I guess
like this guy.
The funny thing is, like whoever just commented, you're right. He doesn't play as bad for the English
national team because
he's nowhere near as bad. He's nowhere near as bad for England for United.
Yeah. And then England also has two very good, a very good solid partnership with midfield that can actually cover them, and they can also play the ball.
And Tyrone Mings is a bit quicker. Tyrone Mings plays alongside him, and he's a lot quicker than Maguire. He can cover.
You have
more athletic.
You have the master of covering, Walker.
Yeah,
and then you have you have Trippier. You have a very so I think part of the problem is not having a good mix around him. But the issue I think with Maguire, to be honest, is that he's entered the funk. But if he's not careful, if he doesn't get out, he might never get out of it.
To be fair, when you're an £80 million centre back, whether it's a back three or a back two or a back seven, you should be able to play in any back. You are the main man. It doesn't matter who's right. You are the main man. You should be making everyone around you better, not the other way around. There's a reason. It's when Liverpool play, it's always some Van Dijk and someone, not someone, and then Van Dijk's the afterthought. Matip is better because of Van Dijk. When Matip plays with Konate, Matip is not as good. Van Dijk is that general that he didn't do great today, but he manages that entire back line.
Oh, trust me, you don't have to bash him about not doing good. When Thiago Silva came to our team, old man Thiago Silva on crutches, I wanted to sell every other person just out of how angry I was. like, can you believe this man is this old man is much better? Like so I hear you, man.
Well, it just goes show being a centre back is a big responsibility. It's a big responsibility. You can't just put two people there, and because they're individually a good defender, they're just going to work with someone else.
Yeah.
It's a presence. You're basically like a second goalkeeper.
I think
Yep.
I think the bigger issue is Manchester United not ever being able to cut their losses. I think they, it's just a whole thing with
I get
Manchester
what you're saying.
United.
I get
Yeah,
what you're saying.
the
They just
fact
pay
that
big money for
somebody,
it, so we have to milk it
yeah,
dry.
yeah, the fact that somebody's it's 80 million pounds doesn't mean he's worth it. They say if you're at 80
Yeah,
million
that's it.
pounds, no, that's not. That's just if that's
Yeah.
your transfer.
It's a risk. It's a risk. You took the risk.
Yeah,
It didn't pay off.
yeah,
Move on.
but
You
if
know.
It doesn't matter if Liverpool bought Van Dijk for 70 million
Yeah.
pounds or bought him for
Yeah, that's
20
it. If he
million
was
pounds.
crap, he wouldn't play.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
wouldn't
that's
play.
how it should
He
be.
wouldn't even lead the defense if he was
Nah,
150 million pounds and he was crap. So it
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
work
It's
that
not the
way.
price, it's the
Yeah.
value. So if this guy is not good, they should cut the
Mhm.
losses because you can't keep
No, that's
saying,
it.
"Oh, he's your captain. He can't be." Nah, all of
That's
that
true.
is
The longer it goes on, the more he's
yeah,
depreciating. He's just
yeah.
getting.
It's just cut the losses because it's the
Yeah.
one thing I'd love about Alex Ferguson, and people would bash Klopp about it, or not Klopp, Pep about it. But I'll tell you the truth: if you get players on the up, that's the best thing you can do. And before they hit the down, or just as they're hitting the down, you sell them.
Yep.
Because the problem is that when they're getting to that top, you're going to be paying them loads of money.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be paying them that money as they're coming down. That's what's happening to United. A lot of our players are coming down with a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. So, but if we started talking about Man United, we'll be here all day. And nah, they're not worth that. They're not worth that time, man. I'm
Sorry.
serious. Let's talk about something else. So, I think it's not that I think we've exhausted what we came here to talk about. There's a lot more to talk about, but with football, like as usual, with football, it never ends.
Probably
So we'll
love
be
it.
back here next week. This is the Footy Fantasy Podcast. Follow us on YouTube at Footy Fantasy. You can also find us Facebook, your regular podcast, and you can also find us on Twitter at which is Footy AD Fantasy at Footy AD Fantasy. That's the only one that's different. Twitter. So I'll see you next week. You can still comment. The videos will be on YouTube. Have a good one. Thanks.
Take
Bye,
care,
guys.
guys.
Thanks, Jets. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes.